Great stuff, fellas. Okay, so I don't know how we've got past those last couple of teams, the big ones from England, but if you can do that, surely you can beat RB Leipzig, and we actually could become the best team in the world. Let's go, fellas.
Party in the streets and the city's on fire.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 178 of the New Zealand Builder Nation here on Shaun Does FM with Cashmere Technical. I hope you're doing well, and come up today, we've got the final of the 2041 FIFA Club World Cup. Somehow we're in it, and we're going to take on RB Leipzig off the back of yesterday, just doing after sneak past Manchester City in the semi-final. Thank you very much, Craig Johnson. If you missed that one, I'll leave a link to it over in the top right corner. But this is a chance for us here to become champions of the world a year before we wrap up this save. Didn't think we'd get the chance to do this, especially all the way back when starting out this save with AFC Auckland, considering they couldn't even qualify for a Champions League, being a New Zealand team playing in Asia. But of course, we ended up at Cashmere Tech because of a registration bug, and somehow we've managed to get past the likes of Chelsea, Man City, and Juventus during the course of this Club World Cup and made our way through to this final, where I actually think this could be a bit easier than the last couple of games we've played against the Premier League opposition. We take on RB Leipzig. To be fair, they are defending Bundesliga champions. They have looked quite good recently in the safe, predicted to finish first. And also, if we have a look at the history of the Bundesliga, you can see there they did win it last season, albeit before then they were in a bit of a lean spell, second to Bayern Munich back in 37-38 as well as 35-36. Third the year before, and they won it all the way back in 2033-34. And the seasons before that, they came second 4 years in a row off the back of their first league title in the Sabre, which was back in 2028-29. So they've won 4 Bundesligas over the course of this save. They've usually been up there or thereabouts, but certainly not as dominant as a team like Chelsea, who we knocked out in the quarters from the Premier League. To be fair, actually going a little bit similarly to Man City. We'll just also see if we can find how they've been doing in other competitions, like the Champions League. Have they picked up any of those? They have not, but they did finish runners-up at the Club World Cup all the way back in 2029. So hopefully history will repeat itself here 12 years later. We can absolutely fluke a Club World Cup here at Cashmere Technical. A quick update on the other game in this competition that's taken place off the back of yesterday's episode. It was the 3rd and 4th place playoff. That, of course, being between Flamengo, who RB Leipzig got past, and, of course, Man City, who we did. And Flamengo won that 2-0. So maybe shouldn't be so confident going to this game, because, of course, that might mean that RB Leipzig are coming from a stronger side of the draw than I thought they would be. But hopefully we can find a way to do this, even though we've still got quite a few injuries coming into this game. Thankfully, Jamie Young and Prince Kamalo come back, who have been missing pretty much since the first couple of games of this tournament. Unfortunately, though, did lose David Cifuentes in yesterday's episode quite early in that win over Man City. As we suggested, Mariano Marquez comes in straight from the B team over in Christchurch. He's taken an express flight here over to Turkey, and he will start in between the sticks. Does look just a little bit better than someone like Shaun. So hopefully the Argentinian, he can help us here pick up a famous win, which you'd imagine should bring that club reputation up even more than that little half-star boost that it got yesterday, albeit finishing second in the Club World Cup. That might still go up and might help us sign some very interesting players going in to the final year or so of the save. At Cashmere Tech, we're going to finish off here the National League season, Chatham Cup, all that stuff, and wrap things up here with the OFC Champions League at the start of next year before resigning and kicking on to the 2032 FIFA World Cup with the All Whites, which hopefully we can pick up. That might be a little bit tougher, but we might have to try this tactic out if it gets the job done in a competition like this, because maybe it's a bit ridiculous. But we're going back to a stadium that we covered off earlier in this tournament for this game. It is the Emre Belözoğlu Arena, and that is in Samsun. We didn't do a bus trip there because it's not a real stadium, but we showed you the hotel prior to our first game when we did take on Juventus. No bus trip needed for today's episode, so we can pretty much get close to straight in to the action and see if we can pull off a major upset in this save and pick up a FIFA Club World Cup by defeating RB Leipzig in the final. And here are the team sheets for this final of the FIFA Club World Cup in 2041. First up, RB Leipzig going with a 4-2-4. Interesting formation there. going quite attacking up front, but then a big gap in the middle, which hopefully we can make the most of. Coming back for us, we've got Kamalo up front, and also Corona was suspended, of course, for that Man City game, so he comes back in as well. Young comes back via the bench, and it's a bit stronger than it was for that City game, so hopefully that might pay off if this one does go the distance. Hopefully can find a way to pick up the Club World Cup. And just shot the 15-minute mark here, first highlight is a throw in our favour, and it's inside the final third as well, albeit a bit of a loose touch there, and RB Leipzig do get that ball back briefly, but Sousa, he wins it back, and then Clark plays a lovely ball for Jonas Otto, the German formerly of Bayern Munich. He's proven to be a really good signing and been probably one of the star players of this tournament, apart from a couple of games. We rested him that last one against Boca Juniors in the group, and also against the Mamelodi Sundowns, but he's come up with some big plays, and early on, that's a top finish there with his left foot. To be fair, the pass from Sam Clark might be even better. We go 1-0 up, nice and early in this final. And we go forward to just shy of the half-hour mark now, and RB Leipzig do a corner here, which they put into the mix a bit. Anderson there, I think's pushed there, Rowan in the back, so unfortunately, this might be a penalty. Hopefully, VAR might just ignore it, but unfortunately, they agree, pushing the back there from Tim Anderson. So a chance here for RB Leipzig to open the scoring there. Through Spiegel, Marquez goes the right way, but maybe if we had Cifuentes there, he would have stopped that one. But unfortunately, Marquez can't quite get the job done. It's a bit of a giveaway there. Don't want to do that against good teams. We've been pretty good with our discipline so far at this tournament, not doing too much silly stuff, but that, not ideal from Tim Anderson. And RB Leipzig, they equalise on the half-hour mark, make it 1-1, slightly on top in terms of stats, but not by much. A few minutes later, a corner is punched out there to Clark from the goalkeeper, and Corona now on the ball. Back for Clark, plays that one in for Otto, takes on the shot. I think he was offside anyway, and also he misses the target. And off the back of that, we do see the free kick here. Jackal will play that one out there, and now it goes out to, I think, their star player, a Thai/German on the left wing. Should have actually showed you guys that before we got stuck in to this game, but hopefully we can find a way here to hold out a good clearance off the line. It might have been from Sousa, but not too sure. So he having an interesting opening to this game. Now they try and put that one far post. Sousa heads that one away definitely. Now Otto there will try and mark Dupper. Plays that one out there to the Thai left wing and squares it nicely for Ahmed Al-Amar. And it's not a good couple of minutes for us here at Cashmere. About 5 minutes ago, we give away a penalty, and then they just do us deal with a nice pass in behind here from Dupper. Picks out the Thai German, and he squares this one very nicely. Somehow we don't stop that one, and Al-Amar can tap that one home to make it 2-1 RBL. And in a couple of minutes on from that second goal for RB Leipzig, they are back on the attack here, throwing close enough to inside of the final third. They knock it about nicely. One of the goal scorers there in Spiegel running backwards, but good foot in the air. And now we might get a chance to do something on the counter attack, but Brown loose touch. Carly wins it back though. Can we equalise quickly? Tries to pull that one back, but unfortunately doesn't find a teammates. RB Leipzig can just relieve the pressure there for a little bit. Let's see if this attack though might continue, just knocking it back there to host Safa, and now Rivera cuts in a bit. Nice ball over the top there for Finn Brown. It's a lovely chipped effort over the goalkeeper there in Rodriguez, and we're not behind for long here in the Club World Cup final. That makes it 2-2. This is looking early doors like it might be a bit of a classic. Lots of goals early, and that ball there from Rivera for Finn Brown is lovely. Rodriguez comes out, just gets a little dink to it, and puts it over the goalkeeper into that bottom left corner. 2-2 with 5 minutes left here in the first half. It's still quite even stats-wise. And now we're down the other end here for a front. RB Leipzig thankfully head that one away, but their dangerous player back on the ball. They get a header on the end of that one far post, but thankfully that one goes straight over the top of Marquez. I think he would have had that one covered, and it does go over the bar anyway. We make our way into 3 minutes of added time. So 2-2 here at the half in the Club World Cup final. The XG, both their chances, a lot better than the ones we took. It does look a little bit weird, that XG. Not too sure if it's an accurate reflection on how things are going, but thankfully locked up at 2-2. We'll take that now. Unfortunately, Carly going fairly on a 6.4. Diego Mazzi can come on for him, but apart from that, I think we'll save the rest of our subs up here for the second half, of course, to go to extra time in our last game. So might get some tired players in the second half of this one, but hopefully we can just try and encourage the guys here to be a bit better in the second half and pull out a win in this Club World Cup final, locked up at 2-2. And going forward to the hour mark, and we're going to make some subs here as we're about to hit the last half hour of this game. Prince Kamalo coming back from injury is going a little bit fairly on a 6.5. So Craig Johnson off the back of that hat trick in yesterday's episode against Man City. he can come on. Wasn't a heavy workload coming into this game. Rivera's doing well, but it does look like he's going to drop down to a red heart pretty soon as well. So Debenham can come on at right back with a half hour left. Still 2-2. And it's taken a little while to get the first highlight here of the second half. It's a corner there to RB Leipzig. Thankfully, we can head that one away, and Hosafa does well there to find Otto, but for some reason, just heads that one straight out there to an RBL player instead of trying to do something on the counter attack. Now they try and do something here down the left-hand side, square it, but that doesn't find the marker. Now Otto will get a chance on the counter attack. What can he do? Plays that forward looking for Johnston, but unfortunately, Grahi can cut that one out, and RBL get a chance here to make their way out from back, and they do so quite nicely until Clark with a good footer. Now Marzi plays out to Otto. Can he try and do something here? It's an absolute mess inside the box, but he gets back on the ball and squares it for Finn Brown, who puts himself on a hat-trick. 3-2. It's a very scrappy goal, but we'll take it. Off the back of that, we might make some subs. Corona's going really poorly actually on a 6.3, so Vinny can come on for him. And also, I think going to take off here Hosafa for Peter Zajic, the youngster. He can come on as a ball-playing defender, hopefully help us see out this game there. Those will be our final subs, but that's a pretty fortunate goal. Good work from Sam Clark again, helps set up the early goal there for Jonas Otto, who somehow keeps this ball rolling. Tried to clear it. It got all sorts of muddled up in there. Otto puts it into the mixer and Brown pokes that one home. 3-2 with only 20 minutes left. And we're just making our way into the last 10 minutes of this game, still in front by 3-2, but now I think it's a good time for us here to start time wasting just a little bit to try and seed this one out, also be more disciplined. We've also pulled Debenham back to support. I think that will do for now, as we're about to make our way into late stages of regular time in this game. Hopefully, RBL don't get a chance to pull back an equaliser and take this one to extra time. Also, let's get our goalkeeper to slow things down in terms of distribution and see how much longer we can keep this at 3-2 in our favour. RBL XG-wise, they're still pretty similar for the first half, as Rowan now might be forced from the field with an injury, so they might be down to 10 men, but now with only 3 minutes left of regular time, let's turn things up even more in terms of the time wasting and really try and seed this one out. I think that's all we're going to do here. We'll leave the central attacking midfielder and left winger on attack, and we make our way into 6 minutes of added time. There's a free kick here for RB Leipzig. They take it short, kind of. No one picking up there. I think that's Maragali at the near post. He beats Marquez. He's onside. That's just some really shocking set-piece defending there. Zajic, who we brought on to be fair, Marquez also gets beaten at his near post. But off the back of that, that equaliser there to RBL. We may as well go back to what we were doing when we made it 3-2. So all that time-wasting stuff we're getting rid of. Didn't do anything in terms of our position instructions with the defensive line or anything. As Sousa on a yellow card going to extra time, maybe he's the player that we take off. But unfortunately, RB Leipzig early into extra time do grab an equaliser, despite the fact that really, up until then, they've done not much in the second half, and they make it 3-3. This one is going to extra time at the very least. So in terms of the sub that we're allowed to make, Marquez on a 6.2, that's not ideal, but Sousa on that yellow card will take him off here for Andy Roberts, who makes his way back into the first team for the first time in a little while. Of course, we did lose our former backup left back off back of that Chelsea game, I believe it was, when he got picked up from his non-contract, but that'll be our sub going to extra time, locked up at 3-3. And 7 minutes into the extra time period, the first highlight here is a throw inside the final third. Somehow Otto keeps that ball and tries to square it. It looked like it takes a big deflection off Goodall. It's an own goal. What a gift that is. It beats Rodriguez at the near post. Is that the luck we need in this period to try and win this Club World Cup? Off the back of that, we'll start to do that slight time-wasting stuff that did actually work until we went a bit more time-wasty late on when RBL did grab their equaliser in regular time. But really fortunately how Otto kept that ball, and then big deflection from Goodall. Rodriguez wasn't expecting it, so it beats him at his near post. Now Sam Clark's out there on an orange injury, but of course we've got no more subs left, so unfortunately can't do anything. And a free kick, and I think Siebert's put that one away from an onside position. We'll just wait here and hopefully VAR might help us out and tell us that RBL have not grabbed an instant equaliser. Unfortunately though, they have, so off the back of that, yet again will undo all that slight time-wasting stuff that we tried to get the kick in there before that highlight. Unfortunately though, it didn't work. A good header down there from Flutterer and Siebert. And put that one away. It looks like this one's going to be 4-4 going in for the second half of extra time. Can we grab a goal to try and win this before it goes to penalties? And we've got some pretty early action here in the second half of extra time. Again, here it's a set piece for RB Leipzig. They've been quite dangerous from these so far in this game. Zajic heads it away, but Seibert is back on the ball. A shot there, which Kennan's off the bottom of the post, but thankfully we can clear our lines. Big chance there for RBL to grab a 5-4 lead, but thankfully don't quite take it. Now they've got a throw in, but deep inside of their own half. So they've got a bit of work to do here, try and make their way into ours. Thankfully, they do get in there, but Anderson can cut that one out and maybe we'll get a chance. But Vinicius there loses it poorly. They played up to Seibert, who thankfully looked like he was offside, but Marquez actually comes out to claim that. So unfortunately, don't actually get a chance there to just slow things down with a free kick instead. We pump it deep and RBL do get back on the ball, but thankfully we get it back there and Otto now tries to size up his man. Good tackle there, and Sam's on the ball here for RBL. They find the other Thai German in a ton of space down the left-hand side. He might be offside though. Hopefully that's the case, because otherwise we're in trouble. 5-4 with only 10 minutes left, but thankfully he was offside, so this one stays at 4-all. I think earlier the striker was offside. Marquez probably could just let that one play out and would have a free kick and could have avoided all of this one, but he's definitely offside there, actually a bit more than I thought he would be. And with 5 minutes left of extra time, still 4-all, this one might be going to penalties unless we can score here from this highlight. But a poor pass there, and again they can pump that one deep, and we've got next to no one back. Seibert on the attack, tries to take on there a long range shot, tries to pull off a screamer, but thankfully that one goes over the bar. Now let's just chuck Marzi onto attack and see if that might help us late stages of this game. RBL definitely looking the more threatening team here late on in extra time. But again, just like the second round of this competition, we are going to a penalty shootout. We'll definitely put Johnston as the first penalty taker, probably followed up by someone like Jonas Otto, seeing as he's been so good for us at this tournament. Then probably looking at the likes of a Finn Brown and a Diego Marzi. Off back of that though, things get a bit more tricky. Sam Clark, of course, has that really good composure, but I haven't seen that work out too well in previous penalty shootouts. But to be fair, all the other penalty taking options don't look that great. So really, he might be able to choose here as our fifth penalty taker. Hopefully it doesn't let me down. That 20 composure surely means something, even though the finishing and penalty taking isn't too good. Then Roberts and Zajic, they can step up. Next, we'll sort out here the rest of the sort of finishings off of Debenham, then with Vinicius and with Marquez, who don't have too good a finishing. To be fair, Debenham doesn't have too good a composure, but hopefully it doesn't go that deep. We'll tell the guys to relax. That seems to work well in penalty shootouts, but then tell them that we have faith in them, and hopefully that might just give us an edge going into the shootout, and we can pick up a Club World Cup. And before we get stuck into it, let's go to vertical scrolling as well on reverse. Double click that, and we are set up. We are at first, and Craig Johnston, off the back of that Herculean performance against Man City yesterday, will take the first penalty. Goalie goes the right way, but thankfully buries that one nicely into the bottom right corner. We are 1-0 in front. Next up, Olofs. Now, of course, Marquez, pretty poor rating in regular time of this game, and also extra time. That one, he kind of gets made to look silly there. Top right corner, 1-1. Next up, Jonas Otto. Surely, if anyone puts a penalty away, he will, and he rockets that one straight down the middle into the back of the net to make it 2-1. Next up is Miragali here for RBL. Marquez goes the right way, but doesn't quite get there. So it is now 2-all, still locked up in this penalty shootout. Next up, Finn Brown got 2 goals in regular time. Rodriguez nearly saves that one, but he makes it a sort of hat-trick there, does Finn Brown, to make it 3-2. Next up, Goodhour, who scored an own goal, of course, late on. Marquez nearly stops that one, but just went a little bit too much there to the left, and it is now 3-all. Now, Diego Marzi, who came off the bench, that might have been a good idea, looks a good penalty taker. Rodriguez stayed down in the middle there a bit too long. That makes it 4-3. And now it's Grahi, who might need to score this one for RB Leipzig. Marquez stays down the middle and pulls off a big save there. Does our Argentinian goalkeeper. So if Sam Clark, with his 20 composure, can put this away, surely with 20 composure, he won't be feeling any nerves. I did forget though, he's orange injured. But to win the Club World Cup, oh, composure's a myth. He goes straight down the middle and Rodriguez punches it away. To be fair, he should have caught that, but still, he saves it and it's 4-3. But if Marquez can save this one, we'll still win the Club World Cup. Sam's up now here for RB Leipzig. What can he do? Can Marquez make back-to-back saves? He can't. Goes bottom left corner, and this one's now going to our 6th penalty taker. It's an Australian. Oh dear, it's Roberts, but thankfully buries that one nicely in the bottom right corner. So RB Leipzig now do need to score this one, otherwise we pick up the Club World Cup here somehow. At Cashmere Technical, can Marquez come up with a big save, and Flutterer, who helped set up that goal there in extra time with an assist from the set piece. He goes down the middle and Marquez reads it, and we are the Club World Cup champions here at Cashmere Technical. There's the walk on. We're going to pick up a very unexpected trophy here in this save. We are the best club team in the world, semi-professional outfit from Christchurch, New Zealand. What on earth is going on? Some of these players really aren't that great, I thought, but maybe they're a bit better than I've been giving them credit for, because they've just beaten some massive teams there in this tournament, and we are going to pick up the Club World Cup, and especially considering as well all the injuries we suffered during this tournament, quite a few early, and we lost Cifuentes for this one. Marquez, poor rating during regular time, but comes up there with two massive saves in the penalty shootout. Thankfully, Sam Clark, that 20 composure, which is an absolute myth, surely doesn't prove costly, and we pick up the Club World Cup off the back of a penalty shootout after a 4-4 draw before we get past RB Leipzig 5-4 from the spot in the Club World Cup final. So absolute scenes there as we somehow lift the Club World Cup in this save with a semi-professional club from New Zealand. Do have some half-decent players, but still, Jonas Otto, he does look decent. The former Bayern Munich man must love getting one over RB Leipzig, our captain these days. That's a trophy that he can hold close to his heart. There's their star player, the Thai German, who is over there at RB Leipzig. In fact, he's actually Swiss Thai. There he is there. You can see what he is up to. There's his attributes, though. He does look like a very good player. Thailand must be filthy that Switzerland got him before they did. But that was their star player. Did have a pretty good game, getting a few assists. But somehow, we've beaten RB Leipzig, and probably more so Chelsea and Man City earlier in the tournament, to pick up the Club World Cup. Two penalty shootouts had to make our way through. The first one was a bit dicey against the Mamelodi Sundowns with a slightly rotated team. But that one, apart from Sam Clark, I'll show you him, because seriously, he does have 20 composure and very good decision making. He's just not very good at penalties. Maybe we just park him on those for the remainder of the save. He's got an injury. It is thankfully only 3 days, so he should be fine for the next time we use him in this save. But we pick up the Club World Cup. Absolute scenes with Cashmere Technical. What on earth? And we are celebrating a double, which really is a treble, because as well as picking up the Charity Cup this season, we have won the OFC Champions League, but for some reason the game has again forgot that that exists. We'll just go up a bit as well. £4 million. The finances here are now looking very, very healthy. I'm going to try and get some facilities built here, so hopefully that will help us out once I leave the club. Let's get those training facilities upgraded as well as the youth facilities, try and get some decent players coming through here, some future youth intakes. But that is an absolute ton of money compared to what we've been sitting at for most of the save here after going professional. When I got here, spent about £2 million of transfer budget money, which was not the best idea in hindsight. But thankfully, by winning the Club World Cup, we've kind of made up for that. Now our finances, the best they've looked in this save here at Cashmere Technical. To be fair, a lot better than they also were back at AFC Auckland. And we pick up the FIFA Club World Cup. There's a review, obviously. We're the biggest overachievers. Al Hilal, the biggest underachievers. Poor old Saudi Arabia, top goal scorer from Real Madrid, and the Swiss Thai lad. He got the most assists there for RB Leipzig. But Cashmere Technical are the Club World Cup champions. Surely that will see our reputation increase to wrap up today's episode. And indeed, it does. Holy cow, we're a 4-star reputation club. We can actually go and sign some half-decent players before our last OFC Champions League campaign. And also, I might even, just in case I do some absolutely mad stuff off the back of this, leave a save file down below, because of course, I'm probably not going to pay much attention to under 20 players from this point forward, because we should be okay for the rest of the season in terms of the National League. And next year, I'm not going to care about the National League. So probably this would be a good point for you guys who want to carry on the save with Cashmere Tech to pick things up before I go mad. So you guys can also go mad, maybe ask for an increase in transfer funds with that bank balance, and now us having here a 4-star reputation. But that will do it for today's episode for the Club World Cup here in 2041 with Cashmere Tech, where somehow we've picked it up on penalties in the final over RB Leipzig. If you enjoyed it, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. Now we'll come back tomorrow. Our first game as World Champs is actually quite an interesting one. We take on the old foe from New Zealand in Western Suburbs in the third round of the Chatham Cup. Probably you have to rotate quite heavily for that as well, give our under 20 centre backs a run and give these guys who have been playing quite a bit recently at the Club World Cup a rest. So it could be a chance there that Western Suburbs do find a way to upset us, but currently they're third in the Central League, not going as well as usual. But if there's a time for them to beat us, that would probably be it, with a pretty heavy rotation, I dare say, in that third round clash in the Chatham Cup. And also we can do a bit more of an update on what's been going on while we've been away over at that Club World Cup, because games have been getting played in all the sub-leagues, so things might have changed quite a bit since we last did an update in terms of things back in New Zealand. So until tomorrow for our first game as World Champions, where we take on Western Suburbs in the Chatham Cup. Thank you very much for watching, keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.